The Battle of Kashyyyk, fought over the homeworld of the Wookiees, was one of the last great battles of the Clone Wars. In Revenge of the Sith, the battle seems fairly straightforward, but there was much more to the Kashyyyk campaign than we saw in the films, as those of you who've played Republic Commando know. But not even Republic Commando tells the full story. Like in many other Clone Wars battles, there was a lot going on simultaneously in the Battle of Kashyyyk. In this video, we'll be telling the full story of this crucial conflict.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
Kashyyyk, located on the Mataranor sector, was a world of immense strategic importance. It controlled several major hyperspace routes in the Slice, the galaxy's most populous region, and it was highly influential in the politics of the Mid-Rim, which was starkly divided between loyalists and separatists. Kashyyyk's loyalty to the Republic had been a problem for the CIS from the start of the war. Not only was it politically embarrassing for one of the galaxy's most prominent rimworlds to oppose the separatists, but it was also a logistical pain in the ass, especially later in the war. Kashyyyk was right on the borders of separatist space, as most of the Mataranor sector had joined the CIS at the start of the war. It was extremely valuable and very close to the heart of the CIS, yet it was out of the separatists' reach. Though only a few were aware of it, there was another reason why the separatists wanted Kashyyyk so badly. One of Kashyyyk's largest cities, Kachirho, was home to a secretive society of highly skilled hyperspace scouts called the Klatuvak Guild. The guild, it was rumored, had knowledge of thousands of secret hyperspace routes all over the galaxy, shortcuts that would be a strategic boon to any galactic power that knew how to access them. In 21 BBY, during a stretch of the war where the CIS had the advantage, Newt Gunray and the Trade Federation repeatedly attempted to persuade Kashyyyk into joining the Confederacy. Gunray himself personally made diplomatic visits to Wookiee, the planetary capital, to meet with King Gruchawa. The negotiations stalled for a long time while the king and his advisors deliberated. Eventually, General Grievous got impatient and decided to settle the matter by sending battle droids to Kashyyyk. This was not one of Grievous's best moments. The droids ended up killing Prince Rikumi, enraging King Gruchawa, who promptly declared war on the Confederacy. After the negotiations collapsed, General Grievous made a secret alliance with the Trandoshans, whose homeworld, Trandosha, was located in the Kashyyyk system. The Trandoshans, who absolutely hated the Wookiees and regularly attacked Kashyyyk enslaving raids, were all too happy to help the Separatists take Kashyyyk by force. Throughout the latter half of the Clone Wars, the Trandoshans routinely harassed the Wookiees, establishing slaving camps in the jungles for raids on Wookiee villages. Unbeknownst to the Wookiees, these camps served a dual purpose. Some were also staging bases for the CIS droid army. Late in the Clone Wars, during the Outer Rim sieges, the Wookiees asked the Republic to help them stop Trandoshan slavers after the slavers captured Tarful, an important chieftain near Kachirho. The Republic sent out Delta Squad, an elite clone commando unit. We've covered Delta Squad's mission on Kashyyyk in detail before, so we won't dwell on it for too long, but the commandos quickly discovered the hidden droid army on Kashyyyk and confirmed General Grievous's involvement with the Trandoshans. Delta Squad greatly weakened the Trandoshan slaving operations and destroyed much of the Separatist advance force, but they were ultimately unable to stop the coming storm. General Grievous assembled a massive army to take Kashyyyk, one of the largest droid army detachments ever deployed. After plenty of deliberation, Grievous chose to begin the invasion at Kachirho, both because of the Klatuvak Guild and because Kachirho was located in the Wawat archipelago, one of the few locations on the entire planet where the trees were thin enough for mass troop deployment. The Separatist assault took place in the final weeks of the Clone Wars. A fleet of dozens of Munificent-class Star frigates, Rikusent-class light destroyers, and Providence-class carrier/destroyers found Kashyyyk undefended in orbit and immediately established a blockade of the planet. They carried with them thousands of Vulture droids, Tri-Fighters, and HMP gunships, as well as vast hordes of battle droids backed by droidicas, STAPs, Dwarf and Homing Spider droids, Corporate Alliance tanks, Crab droids, AATs, and Hailfire droids. A small detachment of Geonosian warriors and elites was also dispatched to Kashyyyk, and Separatist forces received assistance from Trandoshan slavers and mercenaries as well. Grievous wasn't taking any chances. After the blockade of Kashyyyk was established, the droid army sent a vanguard down to the Wawat archipelago, securing a landing zone and setting up a shield generator to protect the site. The 6 Wookiee cities of the archipelago, Kachirho, Palsang, Kashyyyk, Waraluk, Grunru, and Rorak-Ruk, all rallied their defences, but it quickly became apparent that they would need Republic aid. Kashyyyk, Waraluk, Grunru, and Rorak-Ruk all fell to Grievous's troops in short order, following which the droids pressed onto Palsang and Kachirho. Kachirho was the Separatists' main objective. A Rikusen-class destroyer descended on the city, deploying battle droids directly to the upper levels in sufficient numbers to rapidly capture half the city. However, the droids were prevented from advancing any further by Delta Squad, which then went on to destroy the destroyer and help the Wookiees liberate Kachirho, albeit at the cost of one of their own. This was the Separatists' first major defeat on Kashyyyk, but not their last. Even as Delta Squad helped the Wookiees turn the tide at Kachirho, Republic forces led by Master Yoda arrived in orbit over Kashyyyk. The Republic really wasn't messing around when it sent reinforcements to Kashyyyk. Under the command of Jedi Generals Yoda, Luminara Unduli, and Quinlan Vos, the Republic dispatched a substantial chunk of the Grand Army to aid the Wookiees. Carried aboard a fleet of dozens of Acclimator-class assault ships and Venator-class Star Destroyers, the Republic force included numerous squadrons of ARC-170s, V-Wings, V-19 Torrents, ETA-2 Interceptors, and LAAT/Is, as well as hundreds of thousands of clone troopers backed by speeders, ATRTs, ATPTs, ATAPs, ATTEs, Juggernaut tanks, and Republic fighter tanks. The clone army, composed of the 41st Elite Corps, Commander Faye's Corps, and numerous other units, was commanded by Commander Gree and Commander Faye. The Wookiees also participated in the battle naturally. After the liberation of Kachirho, Wookiee warriors from all over the planet massed there under Chieftain Tarful, bringing their own ornithopters and catamarans for air support. Republic forces also rallied at Kachirho, where an entire Star Destroyer was landed to offload troops and tanks. As Yoda established a command post in Kachirho, Luminara Unduli and Quinlan Vos finished off the Trandoshan raided detachments in a raid near Palsang. During the raid, they learned of the Klatsuvak Guild and its secret hyperspace routes from a captured slaver, and immediately returned to inform Yoda. After learning of the Klatsuvak Guild, Yoda threw out the Republic's original plan, which was to carry out a mobile defensive campaign and whittle Separatist forces down to nothing. Instead, Yoda decided the droids would have to be stopped at Kachirho. While the Separatists' main invasion force rallied under the cover of a shield generator across the lagoon from Kachirho, Republic and Wookiee forces assembled on Kachirho Beach. As the final stages of the Clone Wars were playing out across the galaxy, the droids lowered their shield and charged across the lagoon, taking advantage of the shallow waters to lead an amphibious assault. While repulsor craft carrying battle droids and HMP gunships skimmed across the water, spider droids and snail tanks charged right through. The Wookiees responded with a countercharge. As the droids approached the beach, they ran forth to meet them, supported by clones on the beach and in the trees. The Republic's heavy armor was unable to advance until the Separatists had pushed onto shore, but Wookiee aircraft provided crucial support to ground forces to compensate for this. The initial lack of Republic heavy armor allowed the Separatists to push onto the beach, but they were dealt severe losses by the Wookiees and clones, softening them up for Juggernauts and ATAPs. All the while, Yoda aided the defenders from afar, coordinating the battle with Jedi battle meditation. Once the Separatists were fully invested in taking the beach, Yoda sent Luminara Unduli and Commander Faye to lead an assault on the droid's left flank from Palsang. Quinlan Vos was sent to lead a column of tanks to bring the fight to the other Wookiee cities and to the Separatist Forward Command Center. Both attacks were met with tremendous initial success. Yoda's plan worked extremely well and the droid army didn't stand a chance. But then, Commanders Gree and Faye received a new order from Coruscant, Order 66. Immediately, Commander Faye shot Luminara Unduli and ordered a Juggernaut tank to open fire on Quinlan Vos. Commander Gree tried to execute Yoda, only to lose his head. Faye assumed full command of Republic forces and ordered another Juggernaut to blow up Yoda's command post, but Yoda, aided by Tarful and Chewbacca, narrowly escaped. The sudden loss of Yoda's battle meditation and the confusion Order 66 caused led Republic forces to falter. The droid army seized this opportunity and gained some ground, but the Republic soon regained control of the battle. As nights fell on Kashyyyk, the last of the droid forces at Kachirho were eliminated. Fighting continued elsewhere in the Wawat archipelago for a little while longer, but the deactivation of the droid army eventually brought the battle to a close. With the help of the Wookiees, Yoda managed to escape Kashyyyk without much incident. The same could not be said for Quinlan Vos, however, who also survived Order 66. Republic forces, now Imperial forces, hunted him through Kashyyyk's jungles, while other clone units executed the Wookiees that had helped the Jedi and put Kachirho under martial law. Quinlan Vos was eventually able to kill Commander Fey and escape Kashyyyk, however, and the Empire pulled out soon after, temporarily. For a few weeks, the Wookiees were victorious, though it wouldn't be long before the Empire returned as conquerors instead of saviors. The Battle of Kashyyyk was the CIS droid army's last great offensive, a final bid to reverse the course of the Clone Wars. But what do you think? Are there other battles you'd like us to dissect? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.